What's up, guys? John from Linkswell here, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons, maybe 5 things you didn't know about Linkswell when it comes to integrating into your factory system with our aftermarket radios. Feature number 1, factory fit trim kits. And when I'm talking about factory fit trim kits, I'm talking about looking factory. That's the key. We want to make it look like we belong. So like in my hand here, we've got a Dodge Ram. This is for the 19 and up, the newer body style Ram. You can see this right here. We've got the exact same bezel that's going to fit, that's going to replace the factory climate controls. We've got stuff for like a Jeep. I showed you the pictures of the F-150, but we're talking high quality stuff, guys. We've got things that are high gloss. So if it's a factory high gloss dash, we've got those. And I mentioned as well, if you've got maybe a Chevy and you've got the painted bezels, we actually have 2 colors for you. We have a silver that comes factory, and we also have the rose gold for those of you who have the Denali. So our factory trim bezels are going to look factory. They're going to look factory. That's the key. We don't want to look like we don't belong. We want to look like we belong, and we enhanced what you had going on. So when I say factory fit, when I say OE grade, I mean it. And feature number 2, OE grade plug-and-play harnesses. All right, and when I'm talking about plug-in harnesses, I'm talking about not just the fact that you're gonna have a plug-in harness and then maybe old school, like I've been doing this a while. I remember butt connecting to some harness adapters. No, I'm talking, we're going from the factory straight to ours with everything you need involved in it. Here I have in my hand, this is actually out of a Jeep Wrangler kit. So let me just show you a couple cool things here. So right here with these white plugs, this is our way of being able to adapt between whether it's Alpine or non-Alpine. We've got all of these RCAs here, meaning we can retain your factory auxiliary input. We can retain your factory CD player. So if you have that factory CD player in one of your Dodge trucks, or I don't know that the Jeep has one, but I know the Dodge trucks have one, but we can retain that factory CD player, not just audio, but complete functioning. We'll talk about that a little bit later when we're talking about how we interface with the factory things. We have stuff like right here, our interface for the climate control. Then we have things like this here in my hand. This is for a Ford with the Bang & Olufsen. Anybody that knows anything about audio, right now, the Bang & Olufsen is one of the worst systems to try and interface with. That's why there's a lot of people making stuff for it. But we have right here, plug and play, again, female side, male side, and there's our audio thing right here. This is the brains to it all, plugs right in. So when you get into the vehicle, you're gonna take that dash kit that looks like it belongs. You're gonna take all of our harnesses. We're gonna retain things like the factory USB ports, cameras, all of that. You're not going to have to hardwire anything. You're not going to have to test anything. You don't even need a test light, guys. You just need a panel popper and whatever screws you need to get at. And we're going to plug everything in, retain everything. And then the other thing it does is it makes it so you're not cutting nothing. So should your customer ever need to trade in that vehicle, pull the radio out for whatever reason, all the factory stuff can go back in, no problems, because OE grade plug and play harnesses. That's why. Feature number 3, factory feature retention. Hey, and when I'm talking about factory integration, feature keeping, let me just show you really quick here on just one of our Jeep radios. This is the factory setting page inside our radio. So you can see me just go and scroll through here, and you need to see all of these different settings that you were going to find in your factory radio. So all of those ability to change things like wipers and how the dimmer or the mirror dims, things like how the radio is going to shut down, like a Jeep. Any of you Jeep guys know, I love my Jeep. When you want to take those doors off, you want to make sure that the radio doesn't stay powered on, because that's kind of what happens. And so you can go to engine off, and there you go, door removal. You can let the radio know, hey, the doors are moved. Change the turn off rate. Like all of those features, everything that those factory radios, and this, guys, this has been the hardest thing in this industry. You got to be honest with us, right? Every time the factory grows and gets bigger, these radios get more and more integrated. Like I can remember the very, very first kit where the AC and the radio was one piece, and we didn't know what to do with ourselves, right? This was not normal. Well, now these radios are doing all kinds of things inside the vehicle. They are programming things. So trying to integrate an aftermarket piece into these factory radios has not been easy. So what we've tried to do is make all of that and recreate it. We've done hours and hours and hours of code polling, code writing, going back and forth, all in-house. What this means is we are able to be on point with all of our programming, on point with all of our interface. We are able to get in and out of vehicles and fix it all right there. In-house, we're not looking outside of anything, and you don't have to worry about how this interface is working with that radio and 2 manufacturers maybe pointing the finger at each other saying it's not my fault, it's their fault, because you don't have that, because we're all of it. We're the radio and we're the factory integration part. And so being able to integrate all of that in the radio in one place means that you'll have the best support possible when it comes to integrating all of those cool factory features. And feature number 4, in-vehicle internet. Now, let's talk about in-vehicle internet. Now, there's a couple ways that we actually can do in-vehicle internet. And the first of those is the fact that we actually give you a way to browse the websites or go on to YouTube or use all of the database navigation apps and stuff like that. We actually made friends with those guys at OnX Off-Road, in case you have any off-roaders out there. And they were in love with the fact that because our radio can be online and run their app, we actually are able to do their entire app better than CarPlay can natively, because we're able to do internet internally. So we can do internet 2 ways on our radios. If you've got a generation 5 or below, we can do Wi-Fi. So you're going to give some kind of hotspot. I know some vehicles are coming with in-vehicle hotspots. So you can use those, you can use your phone, you can get an external one. But now in our Generation 6 and our T-Style, we actually have a SIM card slot. So you can go down to your provider, get a SIM card slot, put it in there, and now you have internet inside. The radio's its own source. You've got internet right there. Now you're able to do all kinds of things, hotspot, connectivity, do all of this stuff internally on your device. And I'm pretty confident your monthly fee for a SIM card is going to be a lot cheaper than what you're paying for usually these in-vehicle ones. Just, cheap plug there. But yeah, internet in your car, guys, on the radio, use it, play with it, all the cool features. That's something I don't know very many people are offering, but we are. In-vehicle internet. There you go. Pretty cool. And feature number 5, camera options. All right, guys, let's talk camera options. Now, you and I both know in-car camera is a big deal right now. 15 years ago, really wasn't that big of a deal, but it's a big deal now. And not only is it a big deal that people aren't just using a reverse camera, but we've got multiple cameras. We've got surround cameras, we've got 360 cameras, and we have high-def cameras all in vehicles now. So you have customers coming in with a very high grade and quality and expectation on what their in-car cameras are going to be, and trying to adapt those into an aftermarket radio can be a bit difficult. So let's take, for example, the Ford F-150 that has the touchscreen controlled 360. It's got a whole 360 setup. It's got the gooseneck camera on the third brake light, and in the factory screen, you can navigate through all of those things within touching the touchscreen. Well, putting an aftermarket radio in will be really hard to retain that, except we do. You got this little module right here. We make this module to plug directly into the harnesses that already come with our kits. So you put in one of our T-Style radios, and your customer has a factory 360. You buy this module, plug it in, tell the radio, hey, that module's plugged in, and guess what? Now on our radio, you're going to get to control all of those exact same factory 360 cameras, all right there, interfaced into our radio. Now let's say you have a Jeep, or maybe you have a Chrysler Dodge Ram, right? And you know that that camera is a pain to try and retain. At this point right now, most people are just replacing that AHD camera. And well, guess what? We've got a module for that too. Now let me tell you about this module. Something cool about this module. It's going to come with our 19 and up Dodge Ram kit, and it's going to come with our Jeep kit, because both of those need it. It's going to come in the kit. You don't need to buy the extra part. But let's say you happen to be putting in, I don't know, one of our competitors' radios into one of those vehicles. You want to retain that camera. Well, you can buy just this camera interface from us, and we'll go ahead and give you a CVBS output as well as an AHD output if the camera you're putting in has a high def input. Right there, plug it in, plug into that little funky plug there. Going to give you 2 RCAs out, happening, bing, bang, boom. Last thing we have when it comes to cameras is, let's say you bought that vehicle that just has one camera, standard backup camera, and your customer wants to add cameras. So you've put our radio in there, and they're thinking, man, it'd be really nice to see more cameras on this huge screen. Well, now I have this module here for you. This guy here is going to take what comes with our radios. Our radios are going to come with 3 camera inputs. They're going to come with a front camera, a rear camera, and a side camera. But should you want more, this guy here is going to add 6 of them. So you're going to be able to do front, rear, gooseneck, right, left, and a trailer one if you want to. Or you could be like us in our Jeep. I actually have cameras mounted underneath looking at the axles, so when we're out wheeling we can see it. But here's the cool things about it. Now, not only is it just going to plug in to our radio, but now you're going to be able to control it from our radio, and we're going to get all the triggers for you. So you're not going to have to run turn signals, you're not going to have to run speed calibrators. We're going to do all that information all right there plugged into our radio. So you're going to get this module plug it into our radio, put your cameras in, run those RCAs in, and bam, you've got 6 cameras all controlled from the touchscreen. So whether you're trying to adapt to a factory camera like the Chrysler Dodge Jeep high def camera and you want to retain that, we got a module for that. Or you have the F-150 that's got the factory 360 camera and you want to retain that. Or you just have the standard camera in a car, we're going to retain that as well. And if you want to add some cameras to a vehicle that's not equipped with all of them, we've got that answer as well. So when I say we've got camera interface options, I mean it. Retain factory, retain quality, or add more, all right there plugging into our system. And there you have it, guys. 5 reasons, or maybe 5 new things that you didn't know about Linkswell integration when it comes to how we integrate with our radios, as well as a couple parts that you might be able to put into another manufacturer. But 5 reasons that makes Linkswell integration, well, different, special, one of a kind, I don't know, all those cool things. Want more information? You can check that out on our website, www.linkswellinc.com.